Here are your Days of Our Lives photo spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. It's another dramatic day of testimony in Salem's new courtroom, as EJ does his best to convince Johnny to still let EJ defend him, but to no avail. Chanel and Johnny both take the stand for Belle to question them. Later, Johnny delivers his closing arguments for his own defense as Leo listens. Elsewhere, Marlena takes Rachel book shopping and runs into Julie, where they discuss the current state of their lives. The conversation convinces Julie that she does indeed want to buy the bookstore because she needs a fresh start in life. When Marlena takes Rachel back to the DeMera mansion, that's when things get dicey. She saunters into the living room when EJ is sitting at his desk and begins playing with a blue marble ball. That's when EJ starts flashing back to the night he was shot and finally sees his female assailant. Was this female a little girl named Rachel? Is that why EJ has been blocking out her face all this time? Johnny tells EJ he is still fired, and he is going to defend himself in court. EJ worries that this is a very bad idea. Will Johnny say anything that will help his case, or is he more worried about his wife? Even Belle doesn't want to ask any more questions. After taking the stand, Johnny makes a closing argument in his own defense. Will he say anything that will move Leo and the rest of the jury, or is he in more trouble than he ever imagined? Julie has an idea while discussing books with Marlena. Well, Chad had the idea first, and now Julie kinda likes it. When Marlena gets a phone call, she may be in for quite a big surprise. Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. After Steve explains Alex's frat boy police record to Kayla at the pub, he asks for her help on his Titan DeMera case. Has Stephanie said anything related to Philip's or Alex's business dealings? All Kayla can recall is that Stephanie broke up with Philip because she saw a side to him that made her sick. A side that puts business and power above everything else, just like Victor. Alex wishes Stephanie a happy book birthday at her apartment and presents her with a hard copy of One Stormy Night. She grows emotional and thanks her supportive boyfriend for making it happen. Alex breaks off their makeout session so he can get to the office and dig into whoever is looking into the Titan DeMera merger. Stephanie reacts to the alias the investigator is using, Daniel Lucas, but covers with Alex. Once alone, she summons her papa. When Steve gets there, Stephanie asks why he's investigating her boyfriend's company. She knows Daniel Lucas is the name he used when he went undercover with Marcus Hunter. Steve can't break confidentiality, and also can't allow her to warn Alex of a potential threat. After more back and forth, Steve realizes Stephanie knows more than she's letting on. At Titan DeMera, Gabi and Xander agree to forget about their kiss and keep things professional. Well, not too professional. Xander needs parenting advice, specifically about what red flags to look for in a nanny that he doesn't really want. Gabi tells him he's the red flag because he's a control freak. He can't manage his daughter the way he does his company. Speaking of the company, Gabi has ideas for how to make it better, but Alex's arrival takes precedence. After Gabi leaves, Alex reports that the person looking into them is using an alias, so there's no way to find out who they are. Xander calls his failure unacceptable. Everything about the merger was above board, but as Alex knows, their leadership structure is compromised because of Philip's fraud. Xander wants to hire Stephanie to help them get ahead of the story, but Alex isn't sure she'll be up for it. Xander instructs him to make it happen. He won't want to see what happens if he fails him again. With Marlena at home, Belle beats herself up about falling for EJ and how disappointed John would be in her. She gets a call about Johnny firing EJ as his attorney and updates Marlena on Johnny thinking EJ is behind the deepfake video of Chanel. It's just one more wake-up call for her. She'll never get involved with someone she doesn't respect or who doesn't respect her again. Marlena is so proud of her, and her dad would be too. Later, Kayla runs into Marlena at the hospital, who declares she's taking a leave of absence. She'll treat a few private patients, but she can't heal anyone until she heals herself. Kayla puts together a list of grief groups that could help her feel not so alone. Touched, Marlena knows there are so many people around who love her. Chanel comes home to Johnny, who scrutinizes the video of her threatening EJ. She orders him to stop trying to prove it's a deepfake and focus on clearing his name. Johnny won't let her take the heat for something she didn't do. Chanel freaks out when she learns Johnny fired his father and plans to represent himself. Johnny assures his wife he's got this. Everything will be okay. After failing to stay on as Johnny's lawyer, EJ bemoans to Tony that his life is in ruins. Tony deduces that he had the video of Chanel doctored. If EJ wants to salvage his relationship with Johnny, Tony advises he do something not in their father's playbook. Admit he was wrong and beg for forgiveness. Later, Gabi assures Tony that she's getting close to uncovering information that will help him undermine the Titan DiMera takeover. But putting their agreement in writing will give her the incentive to cross the finish line. After making a few small additions, Gabi signs on the dotted line. Alone in the courtroom, Belle confronts a despondent EJ. He's let everyone down in his life after they've given him chance after chance. He better get used to however he's feeling right now. When Chanel and Johnny arrive, Johnny lashes out at his father for destroying his wife in open court. EJ tries to defend himself, but Johnny accuses him of forcing him to choose between him and Chanel. Guess what? I chose Chanel. Days of Our Lives spoilers update for the week of August 1822 reveals that Belle Black will get a reminder about a better man, while Johnny DiMera decides to represent himself just before closing statements get underway. Sarah Horton Kyriakis will also warn Sophia Choi, so let's talk about what's coming up on Days. Once Chanel's cross-examination concludes, it'll be time for closing statements to begin. Despite EJ DiMera's plea to get back on the case, Johnny will stand his ground and represent himself. Johnny will do his best to convince the jury that he's innocent, while Belle tries to convince them to convict. Though that's not the outcome she truly wants deep down. Once the jury deliberates, it'll be time for the long-awaited verdict. Other days. Spoilers say Kristen DiMera will freak out as some things click into place for her. It appears it'll dawn on Kristen that Rachel Black makes the most sense as the shooter. EJ will finally remember who pulled the trigger on him and will talk to Marlena Evans about the twist. Although EJ will feel like he has to come clean, Kristen will work to shut him down. That could mean Kristen will go as far as derailing the court proceedings and claiming she's the one who tried to get rid of EJ for good. It could be Kristen's only hope of trying to bury what Rachel did and save her from the memories she's shoved down. Over with Philip Kyriakis, he'll get updates on Belle's decision to dump EJ and will think it was the right one. Philip will insist that Belle deserves a far better man and will hope she doesn't let EJ talk her into a reunion. On another note, Julie Williams will talk to Foster about the bookstore that's for sale. Days spoilers hint that Julie's about to buy it and give herself a new sense of purpose in life. There'll also be some drama related to Steve Johnson's Titan investigation, but he'll keep it up and report back to Gabi Hernandez with anything he's uncovered. After Sarah pushes Sophia to confess the real baby story to Tate Black and get the truth out in the open, Sophia will refuse. Sarah will warn Sophia about the mess her lies could make, but Sophia will dig her heels in on this. Once Brady Black consoles Tate over not being able to visit his baby, he'll have an interesting conversation with Sarah. Brady will end up throwing some questions at Sarah, so he may witness a close moment between Sarah and Sophia that leaves him curious. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the week of August 1822 will bring some hostility and plenty of surprising news, so don't miss all the Salem fun. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. Johnny DiMera's trial continues with Johnny insisting on representing himself and EJ trying to talk him out of it. It appears that Johnny wins this battle, as Johnny and Belle make their closing arguments, but not before more dramatic testimony. Belle cross-examines Chanel after EJ practically accused her of being the shooter when she testified for the defense. Leo listens to Chanel's testimony as he and the jury decide whether there is a reasonable doubt as to whether Johnny shot his father or not. Chanel holds her own as Belle feels sick to her stomach. She hates what she is doing to her own nephew and his wife, but this is her job, and she's determined to do it to the best of her ability. When the defense and prosecution rest, EJ heads home and finally has a revelation. When he sees Rachel playing with a ball in the living room, he clutches his chest and appears to remember what really happened that fateful night? Does he see his shooter's face? And why does Rachel's presence seem to jog his memory? Old pals Marlena and Julie are at a crossroads in their lives, having both become widows within the last year when their longtime beloved husbands died. Marlena feels she has to heal her soul, while Julie needs something new to focus on. As the ladies discuss their current predicaments, Julie gets an idea. Chad had already suggested that Julie buy the old bookstore in Horton Town Square, but she balked at the thought. She had never considered owning a bookstore before. However, another trip to the store and a chat with its owner has Julie rethinking things. After talking it over with Marlena, Julie makes a proposition to the owner and propositions him. She is willing to buy his store and continue his legacy. What will Julie name her brand new bookshop, or will she keep the same name it has had for years? Days of Our Lives star Alison Sweeney is ready for her next blockbusting creation. She joined the cast of Fox's competition show, Lego Masters Jr., a spin-off of their successful Lego Masters series. Sweeney, along with other celebrities, including Ravi V. Patel, Andy Richter, Jordine Sparks, and Portia Williams, is paired with a duo of pint-sized Lego fans between the ages of 9 to 17. The 4-week series premieres on Monday, August 18, and Sweeney is eager to share the sincere, beautiful, inspirational, and funny experience of working with the kids. Sweeney teamed up with brothers AJ, 13, and Zach, 11, and she was delightfully surprised by the experience. She described her level of Lego expertise as not expert at all, despite having a lot of building hours under her belt with her kids, Benjamin, 20, and Megan, 16, when they were younger. "I really thought I knew what I was doing," Sweeney laughs in a recent interview with Soaps.com. "And then it turned out, no, I was sorely mistaken. Those kids taught me a lot that I didn't know." Ajay and Zach shared their Lego knowledge, and she brought her parenting skills to the table. "I really came into it feeling like I was the sous chef. I'm the helper," she says. "I felt my role was to help facilitate, help get stuff there, and let their creativity shine. I'm a mom, so I thought I could help out with time management and managing expectations." What Sweeney didn't realize is how emotional the process was going to be, calling it devastating, while waiting for Brickmasters Amy Corbett and Boone Langston to judge their assigned projects. "All you care about is these kids," she admits, and Ajay and Zach put themselves out there. They were willing to take a chance. Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Johnny DiMera has fired his father as his lawyer and is determined to prove that video is fake. Will Johnny be the one to prove that EJ framed Chanel DiMera for attempted murder? Johnny hired EJ because he insisted that he was the person who could prove his innocence. Johnny went along with EJ even though Chanel was not okay with his decision. Chanel wanted Johnny to hire a lawyer that he knew wasn't crooked. Instead, Johnny chose to believe his father, who cannot remember who shot him on his own. EJ did remember that the shooter was a girl and tried to make it look like it was Chanel. EJ even made sure to have the video from his house edited to change Chanel's words. Chanel told them in court that the video was fake. Chanel didn't say half of what was on that video, and Johnny is determined to prove it. Johnny made it clear to EJ that he expected him to take it easy on Chanel on the stand. EJ knows that Chanel didn't shoot him just as he knows Johnny didn't. However, EJ knows that Chanel will always be an issue between Johnny and himself because Chanel is his voice of reason. Chanel doesn't want EJ around their family, and Johnny may change his mind about that again. Johnny has made it clear to the court that he believes EJ had that video tampered with. The Salem PD could not find any evidence to prove that. However, Johnny knows people who can prove what happened and call EJ out on it. Now that Johnny has fired EJ, he can have his new attorney to request that the video be examined. Video is Johnny's department, and he has associates that are much more reliable than the Salem PD. When it comes to examining video recordings, Chanel knows exactly what she said to EJ, so she can certainly point out where things were changed. Will EJ manage to make his father pay for trying to incriminate Chanel? Could EJ go to prison for tampering with evidence in his own trial? It seems that things are going to get chaotic this coming week, and this will be part of the story. What will fans see come out dealing with EJ's shooting? Will Chanel and Johnny be cleared now that EJ has been fired? Will the truth come out about the real shooter? It's time this storyline come to a close. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the August 18th, 2025 episode tease the moments leading up to the big reveal. As Johnny's trial nears its end, flashbacks may reveal the answer to who shot EJ. Rachel plays with a knick-knack in the mansion. Marlena runs into Julie when she brings Rachel to Hourglass Bookstore. Chanel's testimony comes to an end. Belle questions Johnny, while EJ worries she's the real shooter. Johnny speaks to the jury. Leo speaks with the bailiff. A flashback of EJ's shooting may occur. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, August 18th, 2025. EJ's life keeps going from bad to worse, mainly of his own doing. He broke his promise to Johnny not to bring up a deep-fake video of Chanel on the stand, and Johnny has called him out on it. In fact, Johnny is also pretty sure that EJ is behind the video, so he just flat-out fires his father, sending EJ into a tailspin. Tony is on the receiving end of EJ's meltdown as he rants and raves about how everything is going completely wrong. He lost his girlfriend, and now he has lost his son. But EJ doesn't seem to see that he is the one who made these things happen with his own poor choices. If EJ had just listened to Johnny and not pulled that stunt with Belle demanding a mistrial, then he wouldn't feel so alone right now. He thought that his loved ones would understand that he had to do everything possible to make sure that Johnny didn't end up behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Does Tony have any good advice for his brother, or is he too focused on what he has Gabi doing to win back Dimera Enterprises? Johnny seems to be more concerned with saving Chanel's hide than he is with his own. He fears what the jury might think after seeing what Chanel allegedly said to EJ the night he was shot. Sure, it might give them reasonable doubt that leads them to acquit Johnny. But will Chanel be on trial next? Chanel just wants Johnny to focus on himself and not her. While Chanel is touched that he wants to make sure she is okay and doesn't end up in trouble with the law, Chanel reminds Johnny that he is the one in trouble with the law now, so she doesn't really care about herself. How will Chanel react when she learns that Johnny fired EJ, and who is he going to get to represent him now? Will Johnny represent himself? Days of Our Lives fans, we have seen Chad Dimera and Kat Green growing much closer as the summer heats up. But Chad suspects Kat is keeping a big secret, and Chad is not wrong about that. We've got a lot to unpack about Kat's secret and why Chad is wildly off the mark about what Kat is hiding from him. Now, let's dive in. We all know that Kat has been dragged back into working undercover for ISA director Shane Donovan as a financial analyst. Kat's mysterious text and that container of soup dropped at her door could spur Chad to dig deeper into what is going on with Kat. Let's talk about Chad and Kat. We've watched Chad gravitate towards her for months, even though Kat once faked being his dead wife, Abigail Devereaux, to save her mother from Clyde Weston's psycho control. That is all water under the bridge between Chad and Kat, even though Julie Williams and Abigail Devereaux's mom, Jennifer Horton, still despise Kat. They wish she would leave town or drop dead. Dealer's choice. Now, Chad and Kat have had a busy couple of weeks. They were stuck in an elevator together. Then Kat had a strep throat infection. Since Chad got that smooch from Kat that gave him her strep and the tortilla soup showed up, things are getting weird. Chad may begin to wonder what Kat is hiding. The mysterious text from Rafe Hernandez and the soup at her doorstep have Chad intrigued. You can tell he is ruminating on this, especially because he recognized the soup as a recipe that Gabi Hernandez has made before. Obviously, Rafe and Gabi share the same Hernandez soup recipe. With Kat just kissing him and Chad knowing she has feelings for him, where does this James guy fit into the picture? That's what Chad is wondering. Of course, we all know James is just the name Rafe uses to keep their connection private, since he is her FBI liaison working on this assignment that Shane gave them. They are looking into EJ Dimera's funds for the university hospital purchase. Since Chad runs the Salem Spectator, we have to wonder if he will dig in and do some research himself. Or maybe he'll have his top reporter Leo Stark poke into Kat private business to find out who James is and what their deal is. What's funny is Leo Stark lives with James, who is Rafe, his boyfriend Javi's cousin. So if he asks Leo to dig in, Chad could find out Kat is actively investigating his brother EJ for the essay. Day's fans are mixed, but most are against the blossoming relationship between Chad and Kat Green. Many viewers think it's twisted for Chad to be anywhere near the woman who pretended to be his dead wife, Abigail. In addition to Julie and Jennifer hating Kat, Jack Devereaux and Jack Jr. Devereaux are also not fans of Kat. They all wish Chad would leave it in the rear view. Recent episodes showed Julie Williams berating Kat in front of Chad, but he shut that down hard. Then Julie choked out an apology, but I don't think she's done being mean to Kat. Chad knows Kat only did what she did to Chad's family to protect her mother. Kat has tried very hard to make amends since then. As a result, Chad and Kat have been forming a strong bond for many months now, and it continues to grow every single day. On their bachelor's auction date, for instance, they went skydiving. Chad was shocked that Kat had jumped a few times and actually knew the instructor. I'm curious if the instructor was maybe part of her ISA training. That would be interesting. Kat and Chad spent an uncomfortable night alone in a hospital elevator. That kind of moved things forward with them, too. When Kat and Felicity Green had strep throat, Chad really stepped up. But when sneaky spy lady Kat got soup and a text from an incognito Rafe, that's when Chad really began to wonder what is going on. It's not the first time Chad has seen Kat getting mysterious texts from Rafe's alias and texting him back. Little does Chad know, Kat and Rafe are aiming to take down his brother EJ. According to Shane's research, EJ is rich, but not rich enough to buy the near-bankrupt hospital. Neither Rafe nor Kat can tell anybody about their secret assignment. But now that Kat told Chad the made-up story about an ex-boyfriend being the one who delivered the tasty soup like a personal DoorDash, Chad may not be able to let it go. Of course, Kat cannot say anything. It's doubly secretive because Chad is the brother of the target of her and Rafe's investigation. Even worse, Kat may try to weasel some info from Chad discreetly to use against his brother EJ. That's what spies do. But it would put Chad in an awkward position if he found out. He might not like it. We could see Kat's cover blown pretty soon. First, Chad could overhear a meeting between Rafe and Kat. Although they sometimes meet in the little office that Shane got them, they might need to meet urgently. They might chat in the park or Horton Square to share intel, and Chad might overhear. Second, there's the possibility that Chad may accidentally see a text message. Or, he might decide to be sneaky and go through Kat's texts behind her back. Chad may feel a little jealous because he is starting to catch feelings for blonde bombshell Kat. He and Kat did share that delirious fever kiss that he seemed to be into for a second. But Chad is a gentleman. He told Kat she was just dreaming and not to worry about it. A third way Kat's secret may be added is that Chad could learn from EJ that he suspects something is up with Kat. EJ's assistant, Rita Leslie, could tell EJ that Kat is poking around the hospital. EJ might then grill Chad about her. There is definitely something up with all the odd budget cuts. Turning up the heat, getting rid of the coffee, no fresh fruits and vegetables in the cafeteria. EJ is up to something. Plus, Dr. Wilhelm Rolf just got name-dropped again. That may be foreshadowing that the mad scientist could be working in the hospital lab now that EJ owns the joint. We know Chad wants nothing to do with dirty dealings, but Chad would have done anything to bring Abigail back from the dead. If you remember, he asked Dr. Wilhelm Rolf to save her. He said he couldn't do it. It was too late. Then, after Chad and Jack had Abigail's grave exhumed, and it was empty, that was all really hard. Right now, Chad is trying to move forward. He's moved out of the house, and he's living at the Horton house. He's trying to work through the grief, get closure, and move forward because he has finally accepted Abigail is gone. We do know Chad loves his brother. He may try to warn EJ if Chad finds out Kat and Rafe are looking into his brother. Chad may sneak a peek at Kat's phone and find out what she's hiding. If Chad blabbed to EJ, that could put Kat in a really tough spot. Also, Chad would have to decide which of them to betray. We'll see if Kat's big secret is outed by Chad, and exactly where his loyalties lie soon enough. Days of Our Lives, spoilers reveal that Sarah Kyriakis will confront Sophia Choi about her lies about her child. Sarah has learned that Sophia told Tate Black and Brady Black that she had given birth to a girl and had allowed the adoptive parents to take her home. However, Sarah knows the baby was a body. As a patient of Sarah's at the hospital in Salem, Sarah had noticed that the text of the baby had been notated in Sophia chart, even though she didn't want to know the sex of the baby. Sarah had reacted to Brady's announcement that the baby had been a girl before going back to Sophia's records to double-check her memory. Sarah knows that Sophia did not give birth to a girl after confirming what she thought. Now Sarah wonders why Sophia took off to Chicago and lied to Tate about their child. Sarah is forbidden to share this information with Tate and Brady. However, Sarah can certainly confront Sophia about this and why she lied to Tate. Tate had stood by Sophia throughout this pregnancy, and although they planned to give the baby up for adoption, he wanted to meet his child. Tate wanted to hold the baby and let it know that he loved it and wanted it to have a better life. Sophia had deprived Tate of this opportunity when she lied about the child's birth. Sophia went into labor at home and had the child alone. Sophia also knew that Tate might change his mind about keeping the baby if he had known it was a boy. Sophia lied about the gender because of this. Sarah's confrontation will blow Sophia's adoption story up. Will Sophia confess that the baby found at the firehouse was hers? Unfortunately, it seemed that an ever bigger reveal is coming. Rumors have been swirling for months that Tate isn't the true father of this baby. Will Tate be forced to face the fact that the child he had grown so close to is not even his biological child at all? Has Sophia been lying to Tate all of this time, knowing who the father really was? Fans believe that Aaron Green, who came home expecting that he and Sophie could be a couple, is the father. Obviously, Aaron knows nothing about this, or he would have suspected it when he first came home. Will Tate and Aaron both be shocked to learn the truth? Will Tesoro be revealed as Sophia and Aaron child? What will happen to the baby now? Come here for all things DOOL. Check back often for your Days of Our Lives news, spoilers, and updates. It's going to be a day filled with drama in Salem. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, August 18th promise a day of shocking surprises and tense confrontations in Salem. Alex is set to surprise Stephanie. Steve turns to Kayla for guidance on a personal dilemma. Gabi apologizes to Xander, hoping to mend past mistakes. EJ faces a meltdown with Tony, and Chanel urges Johnny to focus on clearing his own name instead of hers. EJ is poised to erupt in a tense confrontation with Tony. This meltdown will expose his mounting frustrations and the pressure he's under, creating a dramatic turning point that fans won't want to miss. Alex is about to show up unexpectedly, catching Stephanie completely off guard. Their encounter could stir emotions and unresolved feelings, and it may force both of them to confront some things. Steve reaches out to Kayla for guidance, and their conversation is likely to reveal the challenges he's facing. Whether it's personal or family-related, he will need her insight to navigate what's ahead, highlighting the strong bond between these longtime friends. Gabi makes a heartfelt attempt to repair her relationship with Xander. After past misunderstandings, her apology could open the door to forgiveness and shift the dynamics of Salem's interconnected relationships. How Xander responds may have ripple effects on everyone around them. Chanel delivers some tough advice, insisting that Johnny focus on clearing his own name rather than worrying about hers amid his legal issues. Her words push him to take responsibility and prioritize his own path, showing her role as a stabilizing force amid chaos. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for the week of August 18th, 2025. Fans can expect Sarah Horton-Kyriakis to face questioning from Brady Black. Sophia Choi is pushed to tell the truth. Plus, Johnny DiMera's trial comes to an unexpected close. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's kick off this post with Sarah and Brady. The two have always been friends, but not really close. That all changed recently. Brady has been a big supporter of Sarah as she goes through a divorce and custody battle. While there was that spontaneous kiss, it seems they are staying in the friend zone. However, Sarah knows the truth about Sophia and Tate Black's baby. So, as she gets closer to Brady, she will feel guilty. By Friday, Sarah pushes Sophia to confess the truth about Tesoro. That same day, Brady fires some questions at Sarah. So, it sounds like the week will end on a cliffhanger, with Sophia having to make a big decision. Will Sarah tell Brady the truth, or drop hints that lead to a shocking discovery? Meanwhile, Sophia is crumbling under all the pressure. The secrecy and guilt are eating her alive. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of August 18th reveal that Steve Johnson shares an update with Gabi Hernandez. Speaking of Gabi, she issues an apology to Xander Cook Kyriakis. Meanwhile, Alex Kyriakis pitches a job to Stephanie Johnson. Chanel Dupree DiMera continues testifying at Johnny's trial. Then, it will be time for EJ DiMera and Belle'S closing statements. About midweek, expect to learn the identity of EJ's shooter. It's starting to sound like it's going to be Rachel Black. Kristen DiMera won't be able to continue ignoring facts. Right after that scene, Kristen pleads with EJ for more time. That same day, Kristen turns to Marlena Evans for help. It is also teased that the psychiatrist will distract Rachel. Philip Kyriakis gives a boost to Belle. Meanwhile, Leo Stark and the other jurors decide on Johnny's fate. Also, Chad DiMera and Kat Green get even closer. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of August 18th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below.